Hello everyone! Welcome to Critical Role, a show where us bunch of voice actors play Dungeons & Dragons. Fun, crazy nerds rolling dice and good times with the adventures of VOX MACHINA. And as we all know, last episode we said goodbye temporarily to our fantastic gnome cleric Pike, as she's off in New York shooting awesome television shows, but she's here in spirit. Picking up where we left off, the party completed the venture of taking the Horn of Orcus to a place of safety and sealing it away, hopefully for eternity, with the help of Lady Kima. After heading into the basement of the Platinum Sanctuary in the city of Vasselheim, they've succeeded to do so. Vasselheim, which is a distant city to the far northwest of the continent they're used to, this city is a very devout, religion-based city and currently considered the oldest bastion of civilization in the known civilized world. After taking a skyship across the ocean to get there, sealing the horn, you guys also discover upon doing so that the long-forgotten ruins of what appears to be an ancient temple to Sarenrae were recently discovered, and while Sarenrae does not have a strong following in the city, the few that are trying to raise it ask for Pike's help to stay back and help build it and bring it to its former glory and hopefully reestablish a basis of worship in the city, and she decided to do so to help these folks. The party then steps away from the ruins of the tower, sad but understanding of the circumstance.
Perhaps we could just sit on a nearby rooftop and watch Pike work.
Just for like the next 8 months.
I'd be alright with that.
It's not creepy at all.
As you all stand there, you have to decide your next course of action. You stand in the muddy road, taking in the cold, dusk air as the sun slowly sets to the west. Now this area of the city has a vastly different feel than the Platinum Sanctuary. In the haste to make it to the ruin, you've passed out of the section that seems to be under Bahamut's watch and into a different area. This area, most of the buildings are reinforced with ruddy iron plates. Plumes of smoke rise up from a handful of heavy smokestacks, and you can see over the rooftops in the distance toward the center of this section what looks like a massive dark red statue of a muscular bearded man.
Scanlan is feeling still just terribly sad about leaving Pike, so overcome with emotion that he must step into the ruins just one last time, just to see the place where she's going to be. And before I do so, I drink one of my potions. Look at the stonework and everything. Just I want to see where she's going to be, so I know she's safe. I shed a single tear.
As you quietly take this moment to yourself amongst the ruins, hearing her voice echo through the hallway, it's a very comforting sense. You feel a rumbling in your stomach.
No. I feel uncomfortable. It must be the emotion.
It's probably the emotion. You find your way back towards the stairway that leads to the makeshift wooden plank stairway, and there is a small alcove not far from there within the earth wall that looks to be relatively private. There's little to no light, and it does have a view of the current ruin.
I say a little prayer. And I take a big dump on the floor.
No, you do not!
Well, my stomach was rumbling.
You're at the temple!
The Temple of Sarenrae.
How do I say goodbye to what we almost had?
This is not romantic at all. You know that?
As you finish your business, you step away from the alcove, back to the stairway. The remnants of what you leave behind have a very soft blue glowing hue to them.
You have magic poop?
I left a magic dump.
a diamond.
Your
Well,
poo?
So I took a potion that will let me see through my poo
okay.
and be able to check in on Pike from time to time. I ordered a potion from.
Will she realize that you can see her through the
I certainly hope not.
So, for the sake of brevity and story progression here,
Yes?
after you've rejoined the party, the sun is now set. The cold air is beginning to really sweep in through the streets. The clouds overhead begin to slowly rumble with what you can hear as distant thunder, and you get the feeling, due to the moisture in the air, you're not too far away from a rain.
Let's go take a look at this statue.
Sure.
Where's it going?
As you approach closer to this statue, it's not just a statue you see, it's actually sitting atop what looks to be a large, blocky fortress-like temple. Unlike the Platinum Sanctuary, which is a very beautiful but simple array, you can see braziers just blasting flame about every 20 or so feet along the top of it. And what looks to be two gargantuan war horns that spiral along the sides and then open up outward towards the entire city in front of it. Even in the darkness, you can see the figure, this human-like man, barrel-chested, massive muscles. Looks almost like iron bracers around his wrists. He is carved from what looks like solid, or sculpted from solid iron. The beard is long and goes to about mid-chest. He carries within one hand this long, thick, short sword, and most of his furs and leathers about his legs and midsection. You recognize this to be a very hefty depiction of the deity Kord. Kord is essentially a deity of warfare, combat, and storms. A god that has been long worshipped by tribal cultures from long past that enjoyed the essence of battle and challenge. There are a few individuals walking by. You can see carrying pickaxes over one shoulder and passing by.
I like to walk up to the nearest one and just ask, yes. What can you tell us of this? It's an impressive structure.
The Braving Grounds is the area of this city that is built around the worship of the great god Kord. His protection and strength he bestows upon those who live for the sake of challenge, to prove oneself better with each passing day. That is the basis of the Braving Grounds.
So it's like a battlegrounds?
It's a community that, when called to battle, can definitely defend itself. If you're looking for a tussle, what you're looking for is the Crucible.
Yes. What else can you tell us about this crucible?
Crucible's a fighting pit. Down that way, you'll see a tavern known as the Bellows Respite.
Bellows Respite.
One of the finer inns you'll find in the Braving Grounds proper, but I take it if you walk that direction, you'll see the Crucible before too long.
Are these battles to the death?
Oh, nah.
Oh.
These are battles of honor. Death belongs in a true war.
Have you been to this crucible often, and if so, is there a champion or a favorite that you've seen?
I haven't kept much attention to it. I haven't the money to sling around it.
The money.
You think there's gonna be fights in a pit and no one's betting on it? Welcome to Vasselheim, my dear.
Gonna be rich. How far is the crucible from here?
Keep walking. You'll see it.
Most of the buildings, their internal lighting is very low. You can see most folks either go to bed at this evening, or at least they keep a very low visual profile from their abodes. However, the lights are blazing from the interior of this 3-story inn. The Bellows Respite is definitely a rowdy place, and you can hear already the shouts and music screaming from the interior of it. While there are a lot of people inside, you can see it at the windows and openings to the inside of the tavern. There is a large group gathered out in the middle of the thoroughfare, just outside of it, that are all shouting and screaming over each other, and yeah! And big fist pumps to the air. Some folks are angrily throwing, their coin purses to the ground.
So it's like
Like a
Thunderdome?
kid getting too close to an amusement park, I take off running.
I don't start running, but I'm following behind him, and I take out my keen dagger and just start sort of dancing it across my hand as I follow after him.
Okay.
Casually.
There is quite literally a pit in the ground. It's a 15-20 foot dip. It is a carved out pit. There's just two people in there beating the ever-living crap out of each other, and a crowd of people gathered around. You do see what looks to be two very well-dressed gentlemen there in the process of collecting and paying out. And you approach just as the final hit takes to this gentleman's jaw. This poor human fella just gets knocked clean onto the ground. And you can see standing over his body this extremely built, aggressive, looks like another human female with her hair pulled back in a very tight ponytail, just spits in his body, turns around and wipes the blood from the front of her face, snaps her fingers, and you can see folks bring a ladder and lean it over the side, and she climbs up the ladder as everyone cheers on her way up.
Can I
Not
grab
only
the
did you
nearest
roll
person near me,
poorly, but
turn
no cared.
whoever's shoulder that is, and go, who is she?
As you pull
Awesome.
the shoulder around, you can see a rather portly human fellow, balding on top with long, kind of Benjamin Franklin-looking hair. Very nice robes, turns with his jeweled hands.
Are you new to this town, then, is it?
Yeah, very new.
Oh, that's the siren. She's the one you bet on. Trust me on that.
You can see another one of these gentlemen, very, very well-dressed, hair slicked back, Tall, thin human in very, very fine purple robes. Collects some people's money, begins giving out a few things. He pulls out a notebook, looks like a small charter that he's in the middle of putting notes in.
Hello. How would we enter a new fighter into this pit?
Well, actually, that was the last fighter scheduled for the evening.
It'd be a pity not to have one more.
Well, you wish to fight.
Wish? It's more like an itch. A
He
need.
puts his arm out and the crowd kind of steps back a bit and he takes a good, long head to toe, up and down look at you, kind of walks around from side to side inspecting you.
Well, it's not too late. This late in the evening,
I'll fight him.
Excuse me?
Once your friend here gets his face beaten, then you're more than welcome to join him in the ring thereafter.
I haven't laughed so hard in my entire life. Face beaten, he says. Face beaten.
you're mighty confident, aren't you?
It's my middle I only have one name.
First and foremost, all bets begin at 100 gold pieces.
100 gold, is that all?
Well, you can increase the bet if you like.
500 gold on this one right here.
But what sort of odds are we talking about then?
For this
Yes.
one, based on your height, reach, strength, and
Beauty.
arrogance, I'd put you at 4-1 against.
4 to 1.
At 500 gold. Is this all I'm hearing?
100 of my own gold on me.
600 gold.
Hold on.
I'll bet 50 gold against him. We have to hedge. We have to hedge. We have to hedge. We have to hedge.
100 gold is the minimum.
Well, then I can't afford it. I'm sorry.
I'll put 500 gold on the Goliath.
Oh my god. We're gonna lose all our money on growth. No, we're not. We're gonna win a lot of money
All
on
right.
you.
Last
Maybe
bets.
lose my
Last
money.
bets. Everyone starts putting in their cash. Well, folks frenzy over. You can see a couple
I'll
of
put
guys.
1,000 on the Goliath.
What?
It
Yes, you're right.
seems
So quiet,
your
Scanlan.
friends are confident in your ability. Let's hope they can put their money where your mouth is.
In my mouth.
It's an expression.
Yes. Retrieve him, please.
Oh
Him?
no.
For this fight, we have a newcomer. A newcomer who is named
Should I have a fancy name?
Yeah, you should have a fancy fighting name.
Grog the Destroyer.
Philip.
That's like opposite of what I said.
Philip, the newcomer.
I like it. That's dignity.
Has decided to get his face pummeled
Best
by
investment I
our
ever
current standing champion,
Oh shit.
Kern the Hammer.
Turn
At
the
which
back.
point, the crowd immediately goes quiet and whispering, and a couple goes. At which point, you can see a few individuals now walking over, ushering this man who looks like he just stepped out of the nearby mines. He's got coal dirt in his face. When I say man, it is a 6'6", very visibly half orc, built like some sort of thick ass building you've walked past coming through here. Bald head, big bristly mustache. And a face that's obviously taking a beating over the years. He walks up nonchalantly, just wearing a simple kind of tattered tunic, leather pants and boots. You see him like cracking his fingers. He looks over to the side of one of the guys.
Now you better pull me out of work for a good reason. Who am I up against?
I envy your facial hair.
I envy your currently unbroken face. Currently.
I'm gonna kill him. That's a rule, right? I'm not supposed to kill him.
No killing. Fists against fists. Till one of them falls. Lower the ladder.
Oh god.
I would like to rage, and I jump in the fucking pit.
Leap over the side, completely avoiding the ladder. Both feet hitting the ground with a heavy thud sound. The actual, the packed dust kicks up around your feet.
Oh, that's hot.
Come on, Philip! Kick his ass!
Go, Philip!
At which point, the other orc finishes crackling his knuckles, kind of wipes the spittle from the edge of his chin, gives you a look, and you can see a bit of foam tossed from the side of his mouth.
Yep.
As he comes low for a full-on uppercut, that'd be 6 points of damage. Whack under the chin as you're currently reeling from the impact. He crouches down and is going to go for a knee to the middle of your groin. Another 6 points of damage. Whack! Right in the Philip junk.
No one fucks with Philip Jr. I would like to bull rush and try and tackle him. And then if it succeeds, I'd like to headbutt him on the ground.
Yeah, you slam into him, knock him to the ground, and you're now on top of him. He's currently considered grappled, and you can go ahead and attempt your headbutt. So 6?
6.
All right. So as you tackle him to the ground, he's like, ugh, he's trying to pull you off. You reach up, wham! Just slam your forehead directly into the center of his face. And as you pull back, you can already see the blood streak off the front of your head as his nose is smushed even further into his kind of gnarled facade. As you pull back, instead of in pain, he's laughing. He's going to reach up and grab you and attempt to headbutt you in return.
I like it. I like it.
So a total of 13 damage.
Okay.
As he reaches up and slams you again, and as you start backing up, he goes to slam you a third time, and you catch his head in the middle of your mitt, and he's now face to face with you, just like, you guys are both snarling at each other like two rabid beasts.
I would like to keep his head right where I have it and take my elbow and drive it down into the bridge of his nose.
Okay.
6.
6 already.
And 6.
6, nice. So as you hold him down with his face, wham! Head goes, cracks against the ground of the crucible. So he starts picking his head up again. You just reel back again, wham! Hit him a second time. This time you can see now what... His nose was already busted before, and now it's nearly concave. You go down for the third one, and this time he reaches up and grabs your elbow. He's going to take his turn to attempt to break grapple as his action. All right, he kicks you up back onto your feet, and as he does, he kip ups onto his feet as well. Looks at you with a smile, kind of wipes the snot and blood from the front of his face, licks it off his hand, and with that same hand, he rears back, almost like he's winding up for a punch, and then just kicks you right in the center of your stomach. Damn it. 8 points of damage.
I don't know. It might be too much. I grab a handful of dirt and I throw it up into his face.
All right. Ricky O style, I like it. So you throw the dirt up as he's kind of rushing towards you to follow up on the attack. The dirt goes streaming into his eyes, and for a second he kind of stumbles and kind of starts trying to wipe his face. As he does, he has the blood on his hands are also getting in his eyes, and the blood's starting to kick up a little bit. And he starts just kind of reaching out in the area. So
I take my foot and I throw it right up into his grundle, just sucker kick the shit out of his nuts. 11.
So as he's reeling in, tries to reach out, swiping a back fist into open air, you rush up and just whack, hit him with sheer force that you hear a unanimous "oh" in the crowd all around echo down. His knees immediately kind of bend in towards each other, and you could see the sound escape instinctively from his He's still standing, but barely.
Oh, really? Yeah, same place.
You pull back and whack a second time in the same spot, this sending him onto the ground from behind. He is currently prone. Wipes the dirt and crust from his eyes, reeling from the impact. Uses half his movement to get up and staggers towards you as you're just kind of welcoming it. Looks up at you for a second and says, "You shouldn't have done that, tall guy." At which point he goes and just lunges for your midsection a second time. As you dodge out of the way, he spins around and attempts to back kick you to the torso. That's going to be 6 points of damage to you.
Okay.
A back kick. And as his foot comes down, he's still kind of, reaching for his groin from the sheer pain. He just rushes forward and attempts to bite into your shoulder. That's going to be 7 damage as he sinks his teeth into the side of your shoulder and neck area.
How you doing, Phil?
And tears a chunk of your flesh out about the sides of his mouth now, in the muscle. So you're like, you reel back in pain, and you're both kind of clutched in this kind of gladiatorial grip.
Since we're clutching that grip, I'll grab him back and I'm gonna try and bite his nose off.
I'll just aim for this area, and if I catch lip, I'll take it as a victory.
Okay. As you reach forward with relief pain, you use the yell of pain to turn it into attack. Reach forward and bite into the front of his face. You don't get any nose, but you do catch the top of his lip. As you pull back with a snapping sound, a portion of his upper lip just comes off in your mouth.
The first one is 6.
6 damage. All right. What's your follow-up?
Would you say that he reaches back for his face like that in pain?
Oh, he rears up with his hand right there and is like, oh.
Fantastic. I'd like to just drive my fist into his throat as his head's arched back.
All right, go ahead and roll damage on that.
5.
5, all right.
You know what I love about these fights? It's just beautiful. The beauty of the human body.
The blood's pouring down the front of his face and his throat. You clip him right in the center of his throat. You hear the coughing sound as you, with his other hand, reaches up and grabs his throat. You can now see his front teeth visible through the lip that's no longer there. And what's your third strike?
Would you say that he bends forward then because he's grabbing his throat like that?
He's tough. He's bending forward, but he's not like completely incapacitated.
Right,
He's
I
in
would say
pain.
I go up next to him and invoke a fabled hero that I heard about in the woods named Macho Man Randy Savage, and I double tap my elbow and drive it down on top of his head. 6.
Yeah.
6. So as you leap up, using the Goliath weight coming down, you double tap the elbow and bring it down on top of his head. He, from the sheer force of it, wham, slams down, face first, into the dirt. Just like that. Onto the ground. He's looking kind of rough. While on the ground, he reaches forward and attempts to sweep your legs out from under you. He angrily looks down at you. And he reaches both of his hands up again in a giant hammer fashion.
Roll shitty.
Brings it down. Wham! As it hits, you manage to like take the brunt of it in the shoulder. The second hit comes down and slams you for 8 points of damage. Wham! This one actually you can feel the sternum crack. As he brings up his fists for a third time, attempting to end this, you use your leverage you had when you push him up to then actually spring your entire body upward and force him off of you. He manages to get to his feet, and you just get up. And you both are just bleeding from all over your faces with giant bruises, and you both are just kind of barely holding yourselves up. Breathing heavily. It's your go. It's your
I want
go.
to rush at him. Tickle him! Spin on my knuckles, swing back, and at the last second, take my right foot and drive it right through his kneecap. 5.
Okay.
6.
All right.
6.
All right. And what are the attacks you do?
I want to drive my foot through his kneecap, right? If that's successful, he's obviously got to go
Snaps
down.
He's still standing on the other leg, but the knee is cracked behind.
Oh, that's amazing. I'll just put my foot through his other knee.
As you jump off the other one, whack! It catches the knee. It doesn't snap, but you can see there's a bend to it, and then he falls to the ground on both of his busted knees, now looking up at you. And with the third strike, what are you gonna do?
Come
I'd
on.
like to grab his head, since he's probably kneeling on the ground at this point, right? And say, "There's only room for one to rage in this pit." And I take it and I just smash into the top of his jaw, hopefully dislocating the bloody, lipless face that I see.
So disgusting.
You slam down on his face. You'd see the jaw kind of crack open. The tongue kind of instinctively moves around a little bit, but the jaw is definitely broken from the impact.
It's like a dance. It's like a beautiful dance.
You can see that blow should have taken him out because there's nothing left.
He's like the Black Knight in Monty Python. He's got no
his body
knees.
goes like limp for a brief second,
Oh my god, but he's got
and
that.
you see that
he gets
that half-orc rage kicks in.
He gets
That
one
half-orc's
hit point.
blood. You can see him now rally up for one final round of vengeance against you, Grog. Reaches up and grabs you by the throat and brings you up to slam into his head. Grabs you, slams into your head with the first strike. That is going to be 6 points of damage.
Shit.
Boom! Into the face. You can feel like the shock, the white light in your eyes as the impact smashes into you. He goes to do it a second time. This time you instinctively reach down with your hands and push his face away. You can feel the fading just from the sheer impact as he pushes you up onto your feet again, and you step back. And he takes a moment to look at you. With his missing lip, his bashed in nose, the eye swollen shut, his both knees kind of messed up. Respect. And he runs forward and with one heaping haymaker just whack takes you in the face. With a cracking sound for 6 points of damage.
Oh no! No.
With a resounding crack, Grog's head spins, his body turning. He stumbles a couple of steps, falls to one knee,
No.
face down in the dirt, unconscious.
Where's his last little juice?
Do you have
The whole
last
crowd
question?
raises and cheers as the mostly broken half-orc raises one of its fists to the air. Walks around, looks over to your body, reaches into his pocket and flicks a gold coin onto your back.
Oh, fucking dickhead.
Walks over to the ladder and begins very painfully making his way up to the edge of the crucible. You can now see one of the bookies reveals a holy symbol, one that you recognize as the symbol of Cord, and goes down in there, immediately begins administering healing to our recently unconscious Grog. The other bookie, who is dressed similarly in the kind of purplish robes you saw before, also begins to heal, kind of lumps over and takes his sack of coins from him. The clerics of Cord are the ones actually running this. You come to, in the pit, Grog, beaten, wearied, and fatigued because of your frenzied rage.
I go down and nurse him, hold him, and I just tell him, Grog, you won. You did it, buddy.
I would say, given the circumstances, it's nice that he's trying. But it's been a while since you've invested in one-on-one combat, and a part of you is deeply hurt by it, but at the same time, there is that burning fire, that need to come back and vengefully tear him down from his precipice when you're ready.
I say nothing.
The same bookie that brought you in comes over and claps you on the shoulder and says,
Very powerful.
I'm not going to lie.
Probably kill you.
No one has taken a beating from the hammer like that and brought him so close. But you're welcome to fight in my ring anytime you wish.
I'll walk away.
Is there a whorehouse here in
You're asking this question.
We
I'm
don't need to
asking,
recoup the money.
The third floor of the Bellows Respite does itself run as a brothel, if that's what you're inquiring.
That is what I was inquiring about.
Come on, Grog, we'll get you ice cream.
We'll do ice cream, Grog. And a whore. How's that sound?
Cold stone?
Grog, as you make your way into the tavern, there is, though in your solemn state, you can see a number of the patrons who are watching from the inside or part of the crowd all kind of give a round of applause to you as you enter. The barkeep who turns to you, a human fellow who's missing one eye, has a kind of tufted, spotty beard, and happily extends a large tankard of ale and says, "On the house for you, friend! You fought well tonight."
I like your beard.
I take 5 of my remaining gold and slide it over to that bartender and say, just keep it coming all night, please. Thanks.
By the way, what room are you staying in?
Oh, do we have a room?
We would love one of
The
those.
3rd floor, I believe.
For some of
I
us,
think
not
he's
all
gonna
of
want
us.
to.
3 amongst you?
Three.
Three should do.
3 rooms for the night.
All right, so mark off your losses for the money you put in for the pot.
Where do I mark off my loss of pride?
That would be under additional notes.
Right there on the paper. Grog, if it's any consolation,
What's that mean?
It's a grouping of
Not-
stars in the sky.
as I had no idea that weapons weren't allowed in there, if you and I had fight, you would have beaten me into a bloody pace.
Well, you weren't serious, were you? I thought you were being funny. Oh.
There's a lot of injured pride tonight.
I'll be at the bar.
Okay.
Oh, Grog, come on.
As you take
That's
it,
not even chicken. That's just a piece of wood.
as you all take your evening of rest in your respective rooms, Grog, eating and drinking away your worries until eventually you are unable to make conversation, you sloppily make your way to the 3rd floor. You find yourself sloppily disappointing a woman until you pass out in your own sorrow. All right, so as morning comes to, the rest of you wake up. A heavy footfall. A second heavy footfall. A third heavy footfall. And from around the corner of the staircase, descending from the 3rd floor, you see a very hungover and expressionless Grog squinting and making his way down.
What about your beard? Is he growing his beard?
Oh, it is a new
You get
day.
to go ahead and roll a percentage dice.
9 or 90. And 9, 90.
89. No beard this morning. Has to be the other way.
Go the other way.
Lower percentage.
My life is shit.
You guys suddenly hear this slamming sound that echoes throughout the nearby city, you hear this impact, like this distant cracking of stone against stone. This horn that's just bellowing out this deep echoing horn. The rest of the tavern kind of looks around, confused. A couple individuals kind of step outside to look.
I turn to the barkeep and say, what was that? Do you know, have you heard that before? What is that?
It's the horn of a trial. It means there's some sort of attack.
As you guys rush out, you can see now a bunch of the bastions that are set across the top of the wall are gathering and loading in bolts, and you see 2 of them fired. You hear this now guttural roaring sound, but multiple ones, like a chorus of large bestial screams.
Can I grab the flying carpet out of the bag of holding before you take off?
Yeah.
Sure. You grab it. You guys start running. 2 more bolts are let loose, and you hear the creature once again scream in pain. You see what looks like almost like a toothy maw streak across the top of the tower for a moment, and then the tree lines shift and the footfalls get quieter and quieter.
Yeah, we fly up next to one of the shooter guys and say, "What was it?"
The one you come by is like sweat beating down his face, and you see he's loaded another bolt, and he's kind of looking out wide-eyed towards the forest. He goes,
It came back. This blasted thing seen on and off again for the past few weeks. I don't know, maybe it's hungry or it's bored, but either way, this multi-headed thing, this Hydra-like creature keeps coming in and... I don't know, I think it's testing the wall.
Should we go kill it?
I mean, you're welcome to try. It's come once or twice a week for the past month. In different areas of the city. Although it did get a good hit on the wall, and he looks over and you can see there's like a crack in the stone. He kind of looks nervously over it, and we'll get to fixing that right quick.
You can see the canopy shifting slightly. It's about a quarter mile off and disappearing before eventually it's a little bit out of sight. You figure a creature that large can't be too difficult to track.
I'll run back to the tavern real fast.
Okay.
Is the barkeep still there?
He's there, and he's currently putting on armor by himself.
It's okay, it left. The siren. Where might I find her?
Kind of thinks to himself, says, she's a slippery one. She normally shows up when she wants to start a fight. Well, here she runs at times with the, what are they called? The Slayer's Take.
As he was talking about this, the Bastion that was talking to you guys is now coming down the wall, and he's like,
Are you seriously thinking about going after that thing?
Only if there's money involved.
Oh, I can guarantee you a beast of that size, not much of a problem's got a hell of a price on its head.
From who?
Wow.
Gather anyone you take it to at that point. Probably take just one or more of its heads back or some proof of it's dead, and I'm sure there'll be a few people that will fight over a fist to pay for that.
Easily get ahead. Let's go right now.
I'm going to cast
are we not?
Fly out of my ring. I'm going to cast it at 5th level.
I'll wait then.
I'm going to cast it on myself, or I'll just keep it on him, on Grog, and on Trinket.
Okay, so Trinket once again.
Like last time, remember, Trinket?
Trinket seems to be a little less perturbed by the circumstance.
I grabbed Trinket's paw like in Superman 1, and like Superman will go like flying.
Grog and Trinket coasting through the air, arm in palm. So as you guys all drift up over the town, you can immediately see the Bastion that was talking to you is looking very, very curiously at Tiberius.
Sorry, there was just a little magic so we can go kill the Hydra, sorry.
Below you, the landscape is entirely consumed by what looks like the densest forest you've ever encountered. The cold air seems to be growing colder as the day progresses on, and the clouds themselves are a choked dark gray. The rain never fell last night. The storm front that seems to push its way is still ominously looking overhead the entirety of this landscape. Looking down across the Vesper Timberland, you can see the thick canopy, the occasional mountain or hill that's kind of jutting through the top of it, but there is no movement. There is no current sign of the creature.
We saw the direction it went in, right?
Don't worry.
You saw the direction.
Don't worry. My sister's a ranger. She can track anything.
Are you being an asshole to me today?
I don't know. Why am I?
I don't know. I judged him apparently, and I don't remember doing it.
The critters will figure it out.
Can I go low to the ground and track it?
You can. So you take the carpet down, and as it hits the canopy, it's a very slow, arduous process to weave between the thick network of branches and vines and other bits of growth that have completely covered the top of this forest. Even though it's midday at this point in time, the light inside the forest is choked so thin it's almost like it's dusk near dark inside the forest. You see that there are tracks going both ways, meaning the creature, as it came through towards the city, it turned its path about and then exited the same pathway. So as you're following it along for a good 15 minutes or so, you continue moving forward off the track for another 10 minutes or so before you see some movement ahead. You and Percy go ahead and you look forward and you notice that there are a couple of small pools of water that have just kind of coalesced through the recent storms. The back of a large scaled creature with kind of a tan to dark brown hide, long tail, currently stooped down and drinking from the waters of the pool. You can hear the distant... Occasionally a head will come up and look around. Another head will come up and snap at it and snap back, and then both go down and they start drinking on their own. You apparently are not currently noticed.
I can, like, box them in with my wall of stone. I can, poof.
So you create from the earth a wall of stone that comes jutting out, as form around it and kind of hold it in place currently.
As soon as Vax sees that, he starts running through the grass, up the slope of the stone. I'm clicking one boot against the other of haste as I run up it. Start going faster, run up, and I'm gonna jump, and I'm gonna just start stabbing into that head in the back.
Alrighty, go for it.
17.
17 misses. One misses, the final one hits, yes.
9 for damage, plus 17 of sneak attack damage for the first attack, and that's poison. And the poison is DC 15.
Does not make it save.
With 11 points of poison damage to its head.
You leap, run up the stonework, click the heels, rush down, and then whoosh, whoosh, slam, and the dagger slips into the front of its torso, the actual blade pulsing as the magical energy expels itself, the poison rocketing through its body. All of a sudden the heads turn around and force you to have 5 heads looking right at you.
Sorry, DM.
Yes?
This is after the fact. Assassinate on any attack before the enemy's had a chance to take a turn yet. Any hit is on surprise is a crit.
Good to know. So that's 54 damage.
Whoa!
Your initial strike.
I'm gonna cast invisibility.
Okay.
And then I can see it because I'm on the other side of the ramp, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna cast chain lightning right at the foot.
Chain lightning?
Yeah.
Nice.
43.
43. Awesome. So total of say 22 points of damage.
Dude.
From a save.
Yeah.
So as it's stepping into the water, it takes an additional 9 damage to that.
Nice.
Hells yeah.
As it pulls back, the stone around it, the rogue leaps up and slams into the blade. Its heads turn around, and as it does, you turn around, vanish from sight, and then you cast it. Greater invisibility, or just invisibility?
Greater.
Right. Okay. Good enough. Release your hands, and a torrent of blue electrical energy rockets forth from your hands, streaking out some parts, leaving arcs that hit the nearby forests, and then slamming into its body, its exposed heads. You can see the arcs now shooting through between the various necks and body as it writhes and streaks about, slamming its body into part of the stone that kind of cracks and heaves from the impact, but still holding it in place.
I'll move and do lightning. Why not?
Where's that?
I'll just try to get as much
We all move
as
in.
possible.
All right, so you unleash a lightning bolt.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead and roll damage. 8d6.
8d6. These are 6?
No,
those are
6.
8.
Does not make it save. Roll the 5.
Nice.
19.
19.
All right, 8d6 for lightning. Roll 2 more.
Oh, 10 more. Yeah.
All right. 9. The energy is still crackling out from the chain lightning. You unleash your own lightning bolt. It hits it from the side, slamming into the side of one of the heads. The head actually pops from the impact. It's now down to 4 heads.
Oh! Hey! I got a head!
You got a head!
I got a head!
And while I'm making my little round, I'm going to take 2 shots with the pepper box before.
Okay, so as the carpet's gliding past, you're basically strafing it. And as you strafe past, you pull your pepper box and go to fire. Wow. Suddenly there's a dull sound, and as you look at your gun, it explodes for a second in your face. You barely manage to get your visage out of the way as the barrel itself heated up and you have to shake it off. Your pepper box is looking a bit rough.
That's fine, I'm putting it away.
Okay.
Yes. Can I run all the way up and try and pull a Vax like he did?
Well, yeah.
I want to try that, and I rage as I start riding.
All right, as you rush up around the corner, axe in your hand, you rush up the side of the stone ramp that she's created, and it's right in slamming distance. Go ahead.
That's right, swing away.
17 points of damage as you hack once again, and slamming into the side of one of the necks, causing a gout of kind of purplish blood to spray over the right side of your body. Well, as you start to see the head that got blown off, 2 heads sprout out of the
Oh no!
out of the one.
Out of the wound.
That's why you said
Correct.
7.
It is now the Hydra's turn. Rolled a really high initiative. 2 of the heads rear back, lunging out at Vax over here. 17 and 15, so 32 points of piercing damage as both the heads. One of the heads snaps down onto your torso and lifts you up for a second as the other head grabs the side of your body. And it feels like it's about to tear you apart for a second until you manage to elbow it in the nose and manage to get free of one head and shake off the other. Grog, 14 points from the first one. You are raging, so it's halved to 7.
That's right.
The other one that is a critical, that does come to 24, so 12 points of piercing damage. From
Okay.
All right.
I want to shoot my
I don't like that one.
fancy exploding arrow.
Ooh.
Okay.
The untested
The
one?
untested?
The untested fancy.
The one that you rolled.
The one that has a little mark behind
The
it?
one that has the
Oh, this is so
fancy mark.
exciting.
What'd you roll?
Not great.
Are you serious? You actually kind of freak out for a second and release the bow. The arrow falls, the flame hitting the edge of it, and it explodes and detonates right in front of you. Make a reflex saving throw. Or sorry, a dexterity saving throw. Oh, Pathfinder, you squeak in every now and then.
Natural 20!
Okay. Good.
Now?
What would have been an explosively painful 38 points of damage.
Holy shit.
So you take 19 points of fire damage. You're knocked flat on your ass.
That was all of Dungeons and Dragons contained in 30 seconds.
Can Trinket run up and fight alongside Grog? Alright,
Trinket
he's
runs
gonna do
up.
that.
Runs up the ramp, claws out.
Gets 2 attacks
Two
because
attacks.
of Bestial Fury.
Yep. Nice. So 18 points of damage from Trinket. As Trinket runs up, one claw swings through the air, and as the head rears back, seeing this new bear that's joined the fray, reaches out and clamps onto its throat with its jaws, tearing a chunk of its flesh out.
Yeah,
Good job, Trinket.
I'm just gonna do Bigby's hand and punch it. That's it.
One hits. Go ahead and roll 4d8 points of force damage as the fist slams, clocking one of the Hydras in the face.
A half
23.
hitting a Goliath.
Nice.
And with that, you actually punch one of the heads off the Hydra. It goes spinning off into the.
Oh no! No! We don't want to punch heads off.
Hey guys, I got rid of another head! Hey guys, I'm on a roll!
You see a series of blurs coming out of nearby bushes.
Shit.
Another armored individual rushing from there. A female with a large sword rushing from this side. Another character with leather armor. A robed female coming up from behind here. This is our mark! You're not supposed to take that from us!
Well, maybe you should have fought him before we got here.
This cleric character you see comes forward holding aloft a holy symbol and reaches up, and suddenly you see the canopy above the Hydra begin to glow with a bright orange light before a call of fire. Slams down into the ground from the heavens. Hydra takes 48 points of damage.
4's 8? 4 8?
While you were gone, everything happened, by the way. Everything happened.
We were apparently taking someone's bounty.
This character runs up,
Percy's
dressed
blocks.
in leather armor, hood, cloak, runs back, pulling 2 long swords from underneath the cloak and swings up to strike multiple times. 12 points of damage. With the first strike, the second one it goes to swing and hits
And
the
it
height
explodes in his face, and he's knocked prone.
Sorry. This woman, as she rushes forward, you can see the skin has a pink reddish tint. These kind of blackened, pointed horns curled to the back of the head, and she carries a giant greatsword in her hands as she runs in a blur, yelling out this angry war cry. It's ours! Runs up and swings towards one of the Hydra's heads. Whoosh, whoosh, in her fury and anger and the frustration of currently having apparently a targeted bounty of theirs taken, she swings wildly to the air, missing both strikes.
I would like to look to the woman that swung and missed and go, oh, I think you meant to do this. And I'll swing for the body of the Hydra.
Okay.
A 24?
24 hits.
20.
20 hits.
So 19.
19 damage.
And 11.
You bring the axe around with the inertia of the backswing and slam it into the base of another one of the necks. As it slams into it, it gets wedged in there. You have to pull it out with a giant spray of blood that actually spatters across the female tiefling, which you now see. who kind of, as it sprays across her, she licks it on the tip of her pointed teeth.
All right, so am I still up on the elevated part of the stone?
You are, yes.
Yeah, so the one that's occupied with Grog, I'm going to jump on it and cling my legs to the side and try to slice down as I go over the side of the wall.
Okay.
First is a 28.
Alrighty.
And it's a sneak attack because it's occupied with Grog, obviously. 9 plus 24.
33.
And then the second dagger, Flame Tongue, 9 to 19.
Alright, that does it.
10, and then swing, out comes the Venom Dagger, which has already spit its poison. And that is a 26, which also hits, and that is a 4 plus 6 is 10. So, shink.
Say something cool while you're
down
doing
its
it.
neck.
No?
Alright. So as you spin over and arc down onto the opposite side there, do you flip over, arc yourself down after the series of dagger blades, carving these two long, ragged wounds down the side of its body?
I cast Call Lightning,
All
and
right.
I bring a lightning bolt right down on his head.
In the same space, you can see there's a burnt hole in the top of the canopy where that fire column came through. There's a slight sizzle of ozone before a giant hammering blow of lightning streaks from the heavens down into the the body. You feel a jolt of energy in your daggers, and you pull them out instinctively before it manages to make its way to your body.
Sorry. 21 damage.
21 damage, nice.
Nice.
Where the secondary head you blew off was, 2 more heads sprout out. It now has 7 heads.
Hey guys, there's more heads for me to knock off.
That's the best thing ever!
We don't cut the
I
heads
have to
anymore.
keep doing it.
You are winning.
I put my ring out and I'm gonna do instantly quicken spell, do 5 more SB, will bring me down to 1 sorcerer point, and I'm gonna huck 2 fireballs right in the center
Okay.
of the Hydra.
Okay. All right. So.
I thought
you do that.
but you're up to the side, not on it.
All right. So
Are you on it?
So you're drifting over here.
About to find out.
That's 41.
We're going for the first one.
Uh huh.
Oh god.
Oh god.
First one?
Yeah. So that's 39.
39.
It's insane.
Are you adding 5 to each of those?
Yes.
I don't think you're supposed to do that for fireball.
It's
just
any fire attack.
Oh, that's right, because you have that. Never mind.
Everything plus 5.
You do. Yes, that's right. So I need a reflex save from Grog, from
I'm going to do
Vax.
Rogue's Evasion.
All right. This is a
If the
20-foot
Hydra
radius.
itself is
Yes.
So, like, everything in that area?
Everything in the area.
okay. Well, that's
So-
Done. It's done. It's done.
Here we go. 17.
I rolled a 17.
That's how fireballs
Is
work.
that a success or a failure?
That just makes it.
Oh,
For
makes
the
it
first one, yes.
So it hits him?
for the first fireball.
First fireball, yes. You avoid that entirely.
So I succeeded the first time. I failed the second time, which means I have whatever the damage is, which is high
Right. So you take
of 1 fireball.
take 18 points of fire damage.
Okay. Okay, that's
Grog?
okay.
Yep.
2 6. All right. So
18
the
for the
first
first
one. Okay. So you take 22 points of fire damage.
9.
You can take it.
Yeah, I got it. I'm,
Right.
I'm
It's-
good. I
Here's,
healed
here's
up.
the other side of it, though. We'll get this in just a second. So,
Rob, it's still
9.
9. No. Okay, so you take 39 points of fire damage.
Okay, cool.
I don't want to hurt my friends.
I don't want to say it, but
Trinket's dead.
Trinket's right there.
Oh yeah. Roll a saving throw for Trinket.
Oh my god. Okay.
Don't say it.
No, it's good. It's good.
17 for the first one.
Okay, that just makes it. So Trinket takes
Split second. It was
22
a 1.
points
It
of
was
fire
like
damage.
1.
So what'd you roll?
7.
7. All right. So with the explosion, both explode out of the way. You both manage to avoid the break of the damage. Trinket falls unconscious on the ground. The smell of burnt hair. However, everyone but the cleric and the mage over there are
Yay,
hit with the
8-foot
double explosions. Everyone taking full damage except for him who takes half on the first one. They all of a sudden look around dazed and frustrated.
Yeah, we just set off a nuke in the middle of the thing.
The Hydra, due to the fire impact, collapses inside the stone structure.
Dead?
Dead?
Dead.
Yes.
Ooh! You send off the first fireball as it explodes and damages everyone in the radius. It blows one of the throats of the Hydra up, and part of the heads are now caught on fire.
This is much better.
As you take the second fireball, you send it off. You end up blowing half the heads off the Hydra in the process. The rest of its body trying to keep itself standing up. However, the explosion itself sent the stone wall around you guys broken into pieces and shards now sticking upward. The Hydra backs up and falls onto its side, impaling itself on the shattered stone wall that you had kept up. As it slowly slides down on the wound, it gurgles out its last life breath, the rest of its body on fire, slowly sinking to the base of the stone wall.
I run up to Trinket and I cast Cure Wounds on Trinket.
Okay. I run to Trinket as well.
In a 3rd level spell slot.
Right, as you guys rush up, the
Vax is rolling down the corpse of the Hydra to stand in front of these strangers.
Just kill
Trinket heals for 21 damage.
Okay.
the Trinket gets up charred, but okay.
Who else is bad?
What's your name, sir?
Aldur, and I work for the Slayer's Take. Those of us that are empowered to hunt contracted, bounty-given beasts and creatures in this land. You have gone out and laid claim to a beast that you had no lawful right to.
And you see, I had a horrible day yesterday, and unless you want to end up like Puppy Dog here, we'll all end up in a big pile of blood unless you find a way to split your take with us and maybe let us go on our way. You see, we're new in these parts, and we have a habit for killing.
Who would pay you?
What do you mean?
Listen, let's level with you. This whole escapade was not very well thought out. We're new in town. We don't want to step on any toes. We did you a solid. We killed your thing. Let's calm it down a notch and let's just talk.
You have to understand, the Slayer's Take's contracts are binding, magically. If we don't take this creature in after dealing the killing blow, we're at an impasse with the Slayer's Take. The cleric steps forward, currently kind of spattered with Hydra blood, looking a little charred, but for the most part, okay.
Okay, before this gets out of hand, if you come with us to the Slayer's Take, there could be a possibility of us still enacting this contract if we find a way to magically bind you to it. However, if you talk to the leader of our order, perhaps there could be some sort of a resolution to this.
What if we return saying that you had acquired our services in the killing of this beast?
We were subcontracted to you. Yes.
The only way that would work is if you were contracted to the Slayer's Take beforehand. Which, if you were to agree to be inducted, perhaps that would alleviate the concern. We could then write you into the contract magically, share the funds even, and you would be free to accept contracts and kill creatures at your leisure.
I'm sorry, one little clarification. We get paid to kill.
We're not out here for fun.
Yeah, I mean, are you in the company or know of Siren?
She's been known to do work with the Slayer's Take, yes?
Yeah, I'm definitely in.
Very well. Clean your weapons. No funny business. A single moment of your eyes wander into your blade. I don't want to have to come to blows. What about this creature?
What will you do to us? What you did to the Hydra? Oh no, not kill us.
I really don't like
Few people do.
You all make your way back the path you came, in kind of an awkward, quiet. Eventually you make your way back to town, skirt around the outer wall to one of the 3 main gates, leads you to the outskirts of the Braving Grounds into a new area of the town you have yet to travel to. Welcome to the Quad Roads. And you guys continue walking into what is now, you see now these large roads that streak across, and you've seen them join with the other sections. This is the most central of all the various districts of the city of Vasselheim. There is a very large trade bazaar structured not that far out of the main gate that leads to the center of this district. You can see Barker shouting out left and right to you until eventually you make your way to what looks like a very old darkwood lodge, about 3 stories high, decorated with dozens of tusks, claws, and other trophies that look as old as the building itself. A carved wooden sign stands bolted to the top of the porch that says Slayer's Take Guild Hall in the common tongue. There is an engraving into the doorway. Here is where the hunters gather, keen eyes and blades at ready. We cease the unknown's cackling laughter. Our will is strong, our numbers plenty. We stand against the tide of darkness. We do the deeds few men can handle. Reap forth the trophy from the carcass. We are your strength, we are your candle. You're all in carrying the large Hydra heads through that have still been gathering looks from the individuals watching you charge through the street. You see what looks to be amongst the kind of loose cast iron candelabras that are affixed to the rafters. You see a long desk where a halfling male of muscular build sits eagerly rubbing his hands together. His harsh features and light scars dotting his face and hands, his red hair showing tinges of gray. His shifting smile belies a youthful vigor as you approach with the trophies. Aldor! Welcome back. Aldor takes the first head that he's carrying and chucks it to the ground as it rolls across with 2 large thuds. We bring a bit of an obstruction in the way. Answers to the rest of you. Please explain to me what is occurred in your outing on this contract. Aldor kind of scratches the side of his face. Well, it seems that we have a couple of, by couple I mean a group of skags.
Not intentional. Skags.
Not intentional skags out in the forest, intending to hunt and manage to deal the killing blow to our mark.
We've come from Oman. We're not exactly familiar with the customs and traditions of your city. We're merely trying to help.
I can say that you may have breached the contract here. There may be ways of perhaps rectifying this, should you take the pledge. The pledge itself is a process, one that I myself cannot specifically judge upon. This would have to go to my boss, the headmaster, my wife. You follow him into the back hallway. As the door opens, the halfling pushing it aside. Please, enter. She would like to talk to you. As you guys all step inside, the interior, a soft glowing magical torch lights the room from the ceiling. The entire room is like a large office or study. There are books and meticulously kept scrolls. At a glance, you can see break down various creature types that talk about indigenous bestial creatures. Some talk about the anatomy of mythical and mystical beasts. This is a research facility for the hunting of any such creature that would find its way near or in the vicinity of Vasselheim. There, waiting for you, not at her desk, but leaning against it, with her hands also at her back, similar to her husband, you see before you, in very finely crafted, dark brown and black studded leather armor, a small shoulder cloak fixed and tossed over one shoulder, a tousled short brown hair, deep purple skin, the second tiefling you've seen today. This woman stands with bright white eyes, no pupil. Her tongue kind of flickers out of her mouth like a snake for a moment as you enter. And she looks about the rest of the party. Well, welcome, Skags. You seem to not be liking this title. Skags is an affectionate term we use for those who break our rules and would go to prison, perhaps beneath the amaranthine oubliette.
Well, as long as it's affectionate.
No. My husband said you have interfered with a contract that has already been enacted.
We didn't know we were interfering with it at the time. We thought we were just doing good, and we're here to make right by that.
You also said you show interest in joining our ranks to avoid this prosecution, which I think is a very smart move. And she walks behind her desk and sits down. Most applicants for our humble family make it maybe a month or 2 before the Vesper Timberlands take them. Those that remain, well, they prove worthy of our business contracts. You are all on trial by deed. Should you agree and fulfill my requested deed, you will be absolved of your infractions against the Slayer's Stake and be given membership to our age-old tradition. You will then have access to our bounty contracts. A large part of what we do is harvest from our mark's requested components. Blood, eyes, teeth, organs. We receive orders from all across Exandria. There's a lot of money to be gained. Should you be up for it? I would ask you to take a contract, complete it, and return. That is all. You would have 3 days to do so. Do you accept?
Yeah, let's do it.
We
Yeah.
accept.
Good. Now, I trust you work well as a team, but I'm curious how well you work with others. As this is a test, I will be dividing your band between 2 contracts.
Do we get to pick the teams?
You. No. Giant.
Goliath.
Ranger. Tinkerer.
Oh.
You will form the first team.
What?
That is bullshit.
That's what I would have chosen anyway.
You will be taking your contract with a couple of other hopeful possible members as well. 3 days to fulfill. Now, Cutthroat, Dragonborn, Vine Speaker. You will form the other team. Return in the morning fed, armed, and ready to set out. And hopefully get affiliated with your
journeyman members. Now, be gone. I have business to do.
Wait, no, we were just a pair. Maybe you don't know that about us. We
Oh,
kind of...
then this should prove a very interesting test.
You don't understand. We haven't been apart in about.
ever.
Yes.
Life is hard here in Vasselheim. Deal with disappointment. Knocks the desk twice.
Unhappy.
Husband closes the door behind you. You take a deep breath and realize this will be a very interesting challenge.
Is there a way to change those little pairings that she made and perhaps get my brother down? Same team.
Trust me, there's no way to change my wife's mind. I've tried.
He walks off. And we'll conclude the session for the evening there.